Haven, our second map, and mixed feelings heading into it, right? I think for us, we're kind of having the mental battle in
Mm.
saying that is this going to be a map that Le Petit Bouffons are going to love, or is this going to be a map that they're going to hate, right? I think that there's a lot of discussion and a lot of thought about it, right? Obviously, this was the VAMONOS pick, Le Petit Bouffons start defense, so already it's like if we saw what we saw on Breeze, how good they were with their timings, how good they were with sort of the teamwork, the cohesion, how smooth it felt, you kind of start to believe a little bit more that if their attacking side is taken up a little notch, which I have the gut feeling it will be, this is going to be a map that will feel very much like the bread and butter for them.
Yeah, exactly. We mentioned the utility, right? This is a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
heavy utility-based map. The only way you're going to be getting onto sites is by these set pieces, right? And I'm sure that Le Petit Bouffons do have some set pieces ready up their sleeve. And I'm worried for Vamonos. I'm worried that this might be a little bit too much for them to handle right now, especially after coming off of the back of Breeze. And the second half was, I mean, kind of non-existent for them, right? So fingers crossed that Haven for Vamonos is going to be good for them.
I hope they don't get clouded in the idea, though, that that second half was terrible, right? It's
Yeah.
very easy to push it behind you. I think when you get stomped in a whole map, that it's gonna live with you, right? But you know that you're attacking in a map that the Petit Bouffons have picked. So again, this is sort of the battle that I'm having in my head here. As much as I want to believe in the Petit Bouffons to have a good defensive side, to then go on to attacking and just obliterate the field, Vamonos will know that this is a more comfier map for them. This is one that certainly they would have practiced, they would have watched, they would have learned. And listen, I'm not saying that they didn't bring their A game in map one,
Yeah.
but it's going to be 120% compared to the 100 that we saw on Breeze.
Yeah, and I do want to touch on just quickly the agents that I think we're going to be seeing on Haven, right? The main agent that I feel like is going to have the most impact on the outcome of this game is going to be the breach. And if it's not a breach, it's going to be a fade because Haven's one of them maps where you've got to be clearing all angles, right? And when you've got utility that is so wide, like breaches, aftershock, and like breaches concuss, it's things like that that can take space a hell of a lot easier than it can be if you've got a Sova. Because most of the time on Haven, right, if you're attacking and you're attacking Haven A long, let's say, the arrow comes in and lands on the corner, all you have to do is kind of shoot it, right? So the Sova utility on this map isn't really the greatest when you've got agents such as Breach, you've got agents such as Sky, and you've got agents such as Fade. And not only that, I kind of want to see a Raze. Like Raze brings so much to a team in terms of utility for one. Yes, she's a duelist, but she can clear a lot with her nades, with her boom bot. You can send it down short, and you've got people that know the light or the lamp lineup that clears the whole of short, right? So seeing a Raze on this map may actually be a deciding factor in who wins as well.
I do find it interesting because the last time we were talking about Haven, it was that human tripwise who cars game, right? And
Yeah.
that discussion was like, are we going to see a raise? And then we saw two jets and a double Omen setup as well. And to be fair, as much as, Omen isn't much of a wild pick compared to the jet, compared to the raise, it was an Eccles show, right? We
It
had Eccles
was. Yeah.
absolutely obliterating the field on that Omen, always finding lurks, always finding success. And Polvi on the breach as well did a brilliant job just setting up the fragging potential, right? And so that kind of leads into your point a little bit more that yes, indeed, this is very utility heavy, right? And
Yeah.
if we saw the cohesion out of Le Petit Bouffons in map one, same goes here in map two. And as you said,
Yeah.
when you have to rely on teamwork a little bit more, when this team has put in the practice compared to what we saw in Beacon, I'm still again leaning in favour of this Le Petit Bouffon side. But personally, for me, as much as I want to say odds and whatever are going to come into this, I want to see Vamonos take this to a third, right?
Yeah.
I really want to see them push this to distance because honestly, I think they deserve it, and I'd love to see an ascent between these two teams.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like the best way this could have been written, right? I feel like both the qualifying teams coming from the Beacon series now facing each other this early on in Polaris. And, we mentioned earlier on the bar setting, right? And I don't want to see just a clean wipe from Liberty Bouffons. And I want to see some form of fury, some form of bite from Vamonos. And like I said, Haven's one of them games you need to adapt to, right? So don't worry if you get off to like a poor start, 0-3, 0-4 down. All you've got to do is focus on what the winning team are doing properly and what they're doing well and just counter it. It's a big map, right? I said it's a big map, 3 sites. Usually, most of the time, you're going to be more headed towards 1 or 2 of the sites, right? So find that space, find the area where, okay, they're not really aggressing, and just take it. And the way I see it, if you can take space on Haven, even on the defense, I think you're going to have a good chance of winning.
Yeah, like as well as that, I think for Le Petits Bouffons, this is a map that we've changed between the grand finals of Beacon and the group stage here of Polaris. Is that when you would have cross-referenced that BO3, of course, it was Breeze, then it was Icebox, then it was Ascent, right? So this is the unknown factor. I asked obviously in the pre-game interview with the VAMONOS boys, right? Are we going to see any changes in the veto from their end? No. Well, actually, yes. He said you'll have to wait and see. And then instead of bringing out an Icebox, they are going to bring out, you know, the three side. They are going to try and switch things up a little bit here on thingy. Excuse me. So I'm in my head, Marcus. I'm thinking in my head now. Are we safely saying, you know, is this going to be a VAMONOS easy walkover? Is this a Le Petits Bouffons kind of, you know, storm? Is this going to be a 2-0? Listen, we're going to bring up the pre-season interview of VAMONOS, and let's just hear back what they had to say.
Hey guys, my name is Sig. I'm the IGL of VAMONOS.
I'm Vorwin, guys, and I play for VAMONOS.
I came into the team rather late. I came as a stand-in for another player.
We started the Beacon circuit a long time ago. It was Krigon, KPZ, myself. We got sick at the end. I was IGLing, I switched off, and then he took the IGL role. I couldn't perform at my best when I was IGLing, so now I can carry some games, you know.
Out of this world! Only 2 players getting taken out with him, but he might as well have a few more. Every single time you come towards B, the beast is lurking, and it is Vorwin.
Since I had to do the IGL role, I had to make some adjustments for the team. We had to get rid of the old custom from the other IGL.
Another game that we qualified against E-Masters. We did not expect E-Masters to be in the upper final. We expected to meet like the Barbers or the Petits Bouffons on the key game. The confidence we had in that game was better than we expected, and it helped us do the comeback that we did in the second game.
You do not have time, E-Masters! It's Nille who finds it!
Qualifying for Polaris means a lot, honestly, and the goal for us was not to get any money, not to get any work. Our goal was to not be left out, you know. We just wanted to keep competing, be on the international level and compete every day. And that's what we made.
It's just so surreal to just come into a team and beat all the teams in a straight row and then just qualify.
And Zik is taking names, lives and numbers. Flawless from VAMONOS.
There's some really good teams in Polaris. I think it's one of the most stacked regional leagues in Europe right now, if not the most.
I believe that the other teams are gonna give us a hard time in the beginning for sure.
I expect us to be like top 5, 6 at the beginning, and then I hope we can be on the top at the end.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. Interesting to hear right from the VAMONOS side that they understand, listen, competition's high. They expected this match to happen a lot earlier in the circuit, of course. And now, of course, we can head into Agent Select. We're looking at a VAMONOS side that, you know, has the jet. We're looking at a Le Petits Bouffons side that has a jet, right? We're not seeing any raises. It's very utility heavy. This feels basically pound for pound the last time we were here yesterday, right? Watching Hookahs.
Yeah, I mean, we were touching on the agents, right, and we were seeing, well, at least we were guessing what we'd like to see, but it looks like we have actually gone straight into a mirror matchup. Well, I mentioned the breach, right? I mentioned that's going to be one of the things that is going to be the win condition for these teams. And look, we have a breach. We have Russ on breach and we have Zik on breach. Now, this will be very interesting to see how these 2 players perform on this map, especially after going through their head-to-head stats earlier on, right? And it's also going to be interesting to see how the KILLJOYs play, because there's a lot of differences on how KILLJOYs can play, especially on Haven. You know, sometimes you can give up sight and play full retake, or you can play on site and play for your utility. So let's see what happens. But instantly we can see a very fast hit going towards the B, and they're most likely going to try and take back site control. Oh, no, they're going straight through.
No, they don't want B, mate. They don't want B. This is just part of the plan. They send it right in. They're ready. Russ now going to flash back, and that's going to allow Gray to swing. Gray, a double. Really nice picked apart. Le Petits Bouffons, they're just given such freebies walking on out. A flashbang from Russ. We were talking about how the setup potential was there, and they do deliver. It might be flawless as well. Nilla just needs to get taken down by Link. Unfortunately, not going to be the case, but it is indeed a round, nonetheless, in Le Petits Bouffons' favour.
They threw me off there. Like, sometimes, I mean, a lot of the time, if you're going to take, I suppose, a link control through B. Do you smoke it off? Maybe that was the mind game, but I suppose if they do smoke it off, they have that utility, right, to go through the smoke. They have the breach flashes, they have the concuss. It's an interesting round, and it kind of felt like the Petits Bouffons were ready for it. Not ready as like, okay, we know they're gonna do this. They had it in the back of their mind that if this happens, we have a really nice crossfire from short and from under sight, because Kray's support onto the A site just then was what won them that round, right? The crossfire, the side shots, the side headshots coming in from that deep short corner. And it looks like they're just going to go for the orbs, get the orbs, maybe potentially. Where are VAMONOS putting the orbs into? It looks like they're trying to give Nile the ult here, so we might even see an A long push here. But look what they're walking into, Retro. They're walking into the man himself, Luzza.
Marshall certainly can dish out some good damage. We saw it in the second round of the last game on Breeze, right? It was KILLJOY that brought it out early and did so much with it. Of course, maybe not the same result in terms of the quantity of frags, but definitely in terms of the impact here, right? He finding the one, forcing VAMONOS away to look elsewhere. Swarm grenade going to be used. Oh, okay. That is a good lineup from Vaughn there. Teaching that one to everyone at home. That is a massive server main. Nicely done. Russ's utility. Yet again, we were talking about it. Flushing out these players. Earned himself a frag of his own. Nilla alongside KILLJOY basically now have to do their best to defend the spike. And, well, there you go. Running right on in. Nilla with one. Dinks a second. But Russ gets his hat-trick. Le Petits Bouffons with a follow.
Good damage, though. Good damage. Like you mentioned earlier on, the caster's phrase, any damage is good damage. And, I mean, those classics, they did do a lot of work. And they even got the bomb down, right? So we're most likely going to be seeing full armor and not the unfortunate half armor on the buy round. Look at that. Russ gets his head, well, taken off, at least the armor. Kray loses the armor as well. So I don't think Le Petits Bouffons are going to force back into this. They're going to keep the weapons that they saved. We've got a Bulldog, a Marshall, Stinger, Ghost. Lots of variations in this. Oh no, Russ has invested in for the Vandal, but he still has a lot of money to spare. Interesting. Vong's opted in for just the Sheriff, but giving Russ the Vandal. Maybe Russ is feeling himself this game. He had a great game last time, so see what happens here. Just early pressure, double doors, destroying the shields. Look how far back VAMONOS are playing. Like, look how cautious they are. They know that Haven's one of their maps that, you know, the defenders usually try and take space. Stun comes in and Link has got that information. He knows there's 3 people long and he knows they are going for the orbs. Look how close Nile is for the ult as well. Although I don't think that orb went in. They're actually going up. Okay, that one smoke scared them off. Now, this is what I'm talking about, right? The smoke criminal. The second that smoke comes in, look at this timing.
Oh,
this is the
brilliant.
experience of a tier 1 player you expect. Oh, it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate, but this is what I'm saying. They are scared about these smokes, Retro. They know Link loves to live in these smokes. And Russ, he's actually ready for the A hit here. He's setting up for Kray.
Yeah. I mean, you would be, wouldn't you? Like, in any position, now that the C site's cleared out, now that you've got trust in your Sova of Vong to just hold down B, this is going to be easy. Stun needs to come out at a good time, though. Kray, he's going to be streaming for it. Now's your chance. He does find one, can't find the second. That Stinger doing brilliant, though, in closing the gap and doing some damage. Luzza was caught blind in this. Going to be tagged up a little bit by the utility. It's, in fact, Luzza that falls to it. 4 in a second. And now it is on the Bulldog Sheriff combination to try and find the kills. Vong delivers for a first. Still 3 more to go. And, well, there you have it, right? It is just down to Link. 1 versus 3. Does have near sight out and does bring it into good effect. There's your first, but Nilla, he will trade. They will never know that Link pushed so far towards C either as he comes from the CT side of the map. And ultimately, it is a first on the board for VAMONOS, but only a bonus buy for Le Petits Bouffons.
Very important to note that they actually don't know about that push from Link, which is a very good point you make, because Link now knows that he can potentially do this again. You've also got to kind of feel for Luzza in that situation. There is one place you don't want to be on this map with a Marshall, and that is sitting backside A, especially when you are being flashed, when you are having to play around your smokes with a sniper, admittedly a fairly strong sniper, but he's having to play around his own smokes while there's an aftershock going on around him, and the aftershock does take him out. But look at this, ready? Nice early aggression towards A long. Let's find out if Luzza has an operator. There we are. The information is out, and KILLJOY going to walk down. Nice flash. Nice double flash. It doesn't look like Luzza actually expected that. And are VAMONOS going to put their foot on the gas? Or are they just going to simply go back into Gear 1 and slow it down?
Shadows traveling.
Look how aggressive this is. Great kill from Luzza. Sunshine's down. They have no smokes left. Luzza, is he going to go for any more, though? Nile is going to opt in for using the lockdown. Now, that's interesting to see, right? Russ went to break it, but he's most likely going to use this to clear out graffiti or something because they know they've got the man advantage. They've now got the two-man advantage. Luzza with some excellent picks, and KILLJOY is going to play very close to CT. Very close to CT.
Spike planted.
Link in behind. TP's over that alarm bot. So as Nilla comes back into the trajectory to bring it back online, they won't know that the Omen could be so close. Never mind, they do. Vorwin holding it down. Isolating the frag very nicely. Stunned, doesn't matter. Vong's able to find the kill. Poor timing as Cray. He's able to pick up another, and Russ puts this one down in Le Petit Bouffon's favour. Defensive side, starting off with a bang.
Yeah, that's really hard, especially on VAMONOS' economy as well. It's unfortunate they lost somebody so early. But again, we have to highlight how well Luzza's playing. Not only does he reaggress down short after being pushed off long from the 2 breach flashes, he goes down short, he takes out Sunshine to make him 0-4, but that means he has no smokes for his team. Sunshine can do nothing from the grave, and smokes when you're executing a site is so important. And also, one thing to note, not only did Luzza get that first pick on Sunshine, he actually waited the KILLJOY ult to go down, and he forced VAMONOS to push. And what happened? He got a free kill, and we've got some early aggression up to... Oh my god, look at the clap back here. This is messy. This is a messy round. So Russ, oh wow. Nice shrouded step away from that aftershock, and Vong is just going to gather some more information. Are they going to be committing to this? It's a win so far for VAMONOS, though. They've forced the Rolling Thunder out from Russ, and they actually didn't manage to take any space whatsoever. All of that utility used, and look how far back the Petits Bouffons are playing.
Oh, Russ lining up a double. Vorwin does trade, and so that Sheriff can make a swift upgrade. Link solo hold on it, expecting the drone to come over the top.
Oh,
Right
look at
underneath,
this.
but unfortunately, timing not on his side, does get swung out. And now, of course, Recon dart in for the attack inside. They know that he's going to be barrened into the back of the site, but Link with a double. Great to collect the last. Le Petit Bouffons make it 4.
It's so clean. It's so clean. It doesn't even strike me as like there's no nerves at all, right? This is the experience from the boy Link. He just steps out backside like that, takes 1, takes 2, Vorwin and Nile. They're in the grave, and then Cray with that support from the right-hand side of sight just picks up Sunshine as well. Now, what did I say before this? I want to see adaptations, right? I want to see VAMONOS show some form of fire. I want them to adapt. I want them to now try and do something a little bit different, right? I want to see them at least attempt something we haven't seen yet, because right now the rounds aren't working, and this is a very key round. I mean, look at this. They're trying something. The stun does miss. Well, the stun may have missed, but the Hunter's Fury does connect and puts Link down to 70 health, and it's now a reset towards mid and double doors.
There you go. Ultimate going to be brought in. VAMONOS want the B site, or at least the left-hand side of it where the ultimate was expended. A lot of information probably out of Vong here. Knows roughly what the attack inside is up to, and hearing that spike go down as well will just enforce those thoughts. And 5v5, we do have a lockdown on Cray. Are we going to see it out? Probably not in this round. With that shot, though, maybe more inclined to do so. You can see he hasn't exactly made a move to get the retake going. Instead, dropping down, trying to isolate these angles through Garage Sunshine. Let's see. I was going to say, got the smoke out, peeks at the right time. Cray removed, now no ultimate. They basically got to do all the heavy lifting themselves. Le Petit Bouffon's going to look for a way back in. Vong going to find one. Information on more as Zeke, he's able to catch off the swing. And well, there you have it, right? This round is certainly now unlosable for VAMONOS as they just pick up the pieces and will make it a second.
not much you can do in that situation. I'm pretty sure Sunshine was doing some one-way smokes on top of B site, literally meaning impossible diffuse coming out from the side of the Petits Bouffons, and Buzzer does manage to save that operator, and it's nice to see exactly what I was talking about. They changed it up, right? They hit the B site and they played post plant. Potentially this is where we are going to see post plant being in favor of VAMONOS. It's unfortunate though, because I don't think KILLJOY has kind of come online yet, right? He's still sitting there on 0 kills. Still sitting there with only 1 assist. He is 1 away from the Bladestorm, so potentially going into this round, he may try and get that orb, he may try and get that online, or he may just say, you know what, if I die, I'm going to get an orb anyway. But look how aggressive Luzzer is. The turret actually misses, and Luzzer's going to try and get the kill. He does. But in the meantime, KILLJOY has picked up Cray and Vong. And
Ross! The Stinger! A double kill, now able to swing out another ding. Sunshine will take him down, but this is so much more bite size now for the Petits Bouffons. 1 versus 2. How slick that play was with the up towards middle for Luzzer, but more importantly, a Stinger double kill, unexpected. Luzzer just on the angle, doesn't need to hit anything fancy. It's an easy 5th for the defensive side. Le Petits Bouffons starting to walk away with this game.
It's rounds like that where you've just praised VAMONOS so much, right? You've praised them for doing a nice post plan, and just unfortunately, it's a missed turret though. It's a missed turret from Nile, which provides Luzzer with that space to walk out. But he's aware that Nile is there because the turret has missed and it's gone on the boxes. And I mean, the way Nile even played, he was nervous for that push from Luzzer, but he didn't expect Luzzer to be up that close already. And in response, VAMONOS have said, let's take A. Let's go A fast. We've got this. They're 1 off Rolling Thunder, and they're going to fall back. They know that Le Petits Bouffons are going to be playing retake. Look at the ults from Le Petits Bouffons. They're 1 off of Bladestorm. If Luzzer gets a pick, he can go crazy. They've got the lockdown. They're 1 off Rolling Thunder. All they need to do is be careful of a lurk, and it doesn't look like VAMONOS have any lurkers whatsoever. And does Zik realize that it doesn't actually destroy the ult anymore? They increase the HP of the KILLJOY ult / increase the damage.
Oh, I was going to say that's him detained, but actually taken out of the round. But there's a second player that gets locked down by the lockdown. Stinger brought out Luzzer, making it a 3rd. And Vong with the last 5 now turns 6. And had that ult been destroyed, that round is very different. But as you said, with the most recent changes, that is going to be a very, very free round. VAMONOS just don't have the utility to take down the lockdown, and the rest is in the history books. It's a 6th on the board. This defensive side looking stronger by the 2nd.
Now, I do have a couple of notes written down right here for VAMONOS, right?
Okay.
And it's not looking good. I'll be honest to you.
Okay.
The main thing I kind of got out of the few stats we do have is that their defense on Haven is fairly poor, and attacking is where they kind of got their rounds from. So I do think it's going to be a very tough journey from this point on for VAMONOS, right? They do have the lockdown though, so let's see if they invest this into a play.
Luzzer has to drop the smoke to create at least a bit of space for him to get out of harm's way. Link ulting towards C. I was going to say, if you use a bit of utility afterwards, at least they're going to be kept guessing on exactly what that ultimate is doing. And, well, by VAMONOS' guess, right, has he TP'd aggressive towards A? Has he gone in towards our spawn? They've spent valuable seconds in clearing that out. Still plenty of time to work with here. Just keeping them guessing. Link, bit too overextensive. No smoke, no chance. Sunshine will take him down.
It's okay, though. That's good from the side of VAMONOS. They had that lurk there and they were ready for it. But look at that, Luzzer picks up KILLJOY. Oh boy, great reveal. Zik picks up Luzzer and then Vong trades it back with Nilla. He's stuck backside. Cray falls to Zik as well. Rolling Thunder comes in and pushes them straight off of the site. And in response, we have another Rolling Thunder.
Enemy remaining.
Nice shot though, Vorwant making it difficult. Russ 1v2. Recon bolt used towards C. They know exactly where the breach is right now. That's exactly why they'll take a rotate. Do you expect Vorwant to have slipped towards backside so soon? For us, this is a play you heavily overlook. And, well, as you can see, the breach making its way around towards A. 17 seconds. Russ now, the penny starting to drop I do indeed need to rotate, and behind me, well, very unfortunately, is Vorwin waiting for that rotation to happen. That's a third on the board for VAMONOS. Really well played, counter utility at best, and well, for that, they're rewarded with another.
Yeah, and it's a nice response from Luzzer as well when he's playing so close to Garage. He pops the Blade Storm. Yes, it's going to be, I mean, a fairly wasted Blade Storm, right? But there's nothing else you can do there. I believe his dash was down, I think. So, not being able to get out of dodge there, the only option he had was to pop that Blade Storm. Doesn't get the kill, but look what he's got still. They had enough economy to afford another operator, and let's see how effective this operator is. But you know how we had that head-to-head earlier on, and we were talking about Zik, and we were talking about Russ. These guys so far are on top of the leaderboards for both teams. So it was a perfect time to go through the impact these players have, because they are having an impact on the game right now. And look at this early aggression coming in, double doors. Cray, he's just sitting back, doesn't know what he's doing, and Vong is going to pop a random, and I mean a random one, and it does so much damage. It gets one. Sunshine falls, they have no smokes. Zik and Nili are down to just 45 HP.
Should run.
Not to mention as well, Nilla even lower, and Vong, well, the double lineup doing a lot of damage, won't quite find the ult. Now it's shot out. Russ loses his life for it. A little bit of an overextension, but one that's required to keep the Petits Bouffons control towards B. And VAMONOS realizing that's a lost cause, they're going to try and head towards the C site.
Do you clear Cray in this situation? Do you clear him? I don't think he's going to. Cray.
Oh my.
Great timing on the side of Cray. He picks up Zik and Cluzier in pretty much the same spray. It's just down to Vorwin Retro. What's he going to be able to do in this situation? There's that smoke on default as well. He has no chance at taking this site, and Link drops him.
Very, very nice from Le Petit Bouffons. And I must admit, it's fortunate that the lineup happens, right? It was Cray towards the garage area. He's actually aiming on the guy towards the C site, right? He was holding for the cross, and there was just a second player to walk in front of him. As you can see, Cluzier just wanders on out. Really nice POV there. Props to production for that one. And the rest is in the history books, right? Link just kind of able to swing out off the back of his teammate making contact, and it's an easy pickup. Le Petit Bouffons making this look like lunchtime. Very, very confident. 7-3. Listen, 7 rounds on defense is already plenty.
Yeah, plenty is the right word for that. I want to quickly touch on the setup that Cray has just put down, right? So if they do try and come into garage, not only are they going to have the alarm bot that triggers, but they are most likely going to have Russ playing far back like he is right now, and he's just being that support character, right? All Russ needs to do is listen to his teammates and ask for a stun, because if they do go garage at the end of this round, they are going to be stunned in 2 Killjoy mollies. And if I were you, I would not want to be stuck in them Killjoy mollies, especially when I'm stunned. But it does look like we're edging towards an A hit here, Retro.
Moving on in, Russ now needs to destroy the utility, keeping his angle very much undetected, but VAMONOS' double. It's going to be put with a little bit of a asterisk next to it, because of course that spike would have been put up for everyone to know. Nilla as well on a stinger. Not quite the weaponry that the Petits Bouffons have, but certainly not pulling their trigger towards A just yet. I'm wondering, what's the move now out of this VAMONOS side, right? 30 seconds left. You've burnt all of your time in being able to rotate. Spam. Luzzer, at least his operator spotted, as you said, that smoke going to create a lot of distance between the defenders and attackers. A firm belief now that indeed they're heading towards A, and that is the case. Luzzer, easy shot with the op. Cray with a second. Nilla will find the response with the stinger, but the Vandal will always best him in the second fight. Le Petit Bouffons make it 8.
They are just so ready for it, right? You've got Luzzer, he makes it a 3 versus 2, and then the second that there's contact on short, you have Link, who just blinds near sights, and again, forces out a timeout, which I suppose is going in the way of VAMONOS right now. Like, we saw that clap back, right? We saw that adaptation. I mentioned it, they adapted. And then, rounds after, it's kind of... We had that really nice round. We had that positive post plant on B site. You know, we had Sunshine working around garage, making it difficult for Cray to do anything. The plant goes down onto B site, and they managed to hold it. Yes, Luzzer does manage to keep his operator, but they managed to hold it. And ever since then, It feels like they haven't gone back towards B site to try and take it. Yes, there was that time that they tried to use the lockdown, right? But nothing has been successful since they won that round on B. So if you're a VAMONOS player right now, what would you be saying, and what would you be recommending that the boys do?
Well, if I'm honest with you, look at the amount of rounds that have been played so far already. What is a timeout going to do heading into round 12 that is going to change the outcome of this game? You've got one more round on your attacking side. Like, I don't know. For me personally, this is like calling a timeout just way too late, way too inconsiderate of the value of the rest of the half, right? Because, well, are you going to be talking about your defensive side when there's still one more round on attack? No, so you've only got really a sample size of one to try and do your best out of. Lazar aggressive, Rust to follow, Rust is double, and, well, whatever was called in that timeout, Marcus, certainly not going to be looking to help them win a fourth.
But it's a nice response, right? You're sitting back as LPP and you're like, we've just forced a timeout, okay? They're going to be trying something, so you know what? Let's pick up the pace. Let's clap back and let's go fast. Let's stun Hay, let's dash out, let's see if we can do some damage. And they do exactly that. All that happens is Lazar falls down and they get a 145 dink with the Sheriff onto Russ. That's it. Yes, they are about to hit Garage potentially, Nile and Sunshine, and Russ is sitting there with 5 HP. Look at this. If there was no door there, it would be a very, very, very cute photo. What's going to happen though?
Selfie. Russ. Hello. Oh my words. Oh, and it's overlooked so hard. I'm surprised the shotgun didn't kill his teammate, to be honest with you. But Vong is able to close the show. Le Petits Bouffons make it 9-3 for the half.
Switching sides.
Yeah, very dominant performance coming out from Le Petits Bouffons, and someone I want to highlight, Russ. Russ is playing absolutely phenomenal right now. Him and Lazar, they are shutting down KILLJOY. KILLJOY doesn't really know what to do in this situation. He's sitting down on 3 kills, Retro. He hasn't had the same impact that he tried to have on Breeze that we had half an hour ago. But one person I do want to highlight when it comes down to a utility heavy based map is Vong. That one round from that first half where he did, like, I think it was over 300 damage with his Hunter's Fury. And then not only that, he then got a shock dart kill on one of them tag players. Like, that is just perfection coming out from a Sotha.
What is the pistol round going to provide for VAMONOS?
It's very slow. Very slow. But look at Le Petits Bouffons. They're 4-man pushing up long. Nile. What does he do? What does he do against a shorty right here?
Yeah, I mean, you're pushing into certain death if you do go with it. Cray now needs to kind of support because ultimately that shorty could get caught out very, very quickly. Lazar, wrong place to turn, but still delivers. And, well, he is actually stunned out. Link's able to support. And, well, there you have it. Le Petits Bouffons wander on in. They're going to find all the damage. It's not flawless, but for Survive, it's double digits to the Clowns.
It's just so perfect. It's so perfect. They have everything to a T. They had that incredible attack onto Garage, and I'm pretty sure I said it was Le Petits Bouffons who were pushing, obviously, up A long. It wasn't. It was VAMONOS, and I like that. It's a nice try, right? 4-man walking up long. Does it work? It takes space, yes. Can they turn that into a round? No, they can't. How can you expect Lazar sitting in Garage window with a shorty, right? What can you do against that? And right now, we're just gonna see Le Petits Bouffons spreading out, playing default, expecting something coming out from the side of VAMONOS. Now, the reason that we see this, like, spreading out, and I mean, they're gonna go fast, but the reason that we do see a little bit of spreading out is what Le Petits Bouffons want is they want to see what type of buy VAMONOS are in right now. They want to see if they're 4 stingers. They want to see if that they are going for the win and they're not going for that potential overtime 12-12. But the bomb is going down and Rush is the one to plant now, and we have a very deep position from Lazar in the corner.
Lazar, nice first frag. Zeke at least good for 1 with the classic, 4 in a second. So making things a bit expensive here for Le Petits Bouffons, but ultimately with the spike down, the round outcome certainly not going to be sculpted any differently than what we'd expect. We need to see a worldie of a performance here. Cray missed a couple of shots with the Sheriff. Not going to find anything either, as another shorty to put him to rest. But you've got no upgraded weapon to work with. Had to switch out to the classic to get some range, and then that's the rest of it. Le Petits Bouffons, 11-3. Very disappointing out of the VAMONOS side. I think if we saw a little bit more cohesion on the attacking side, this certainly could have gone to 3 maps. But now Le Petits Bouffons just bound up with confidence. They're just looking like such a strong force.
Yeah, we're going to need to see this gap being closed up very, very quickly. And this is the round that we expect that gap to start being closed, right? This is the round that we expect some momentum coming out from VAMONOS. We get the first round, we get the second round. Close that gap. Let's try and bring it as close as we can to make this a competitive game. But Le Petits Bouffons, can't even say the name, Le Petits Bouffons, they're going fast. Look at this execute already on the site.
Well, yeah, this is going to be completely under the noses of VAMONOS as well. They're going to have no information that Luz is so deep. And, well, Link's been teaching him a thing or two as he sits in the smoke towards CT. Sunshine, hello. Wakes up and finds the spike denial. Link now has to punch it back in and set it down once more. Stun coming out for Luz down to 52 points of health. And I think the Petits Bouffons now realizing they need to show a spout of respect, because indeed the swing is good from KILLJOY, and this should be a round in their name. This should be 4 on the board for VAMONOS, and with Sunshine finding another. Cray does trade, but in a 1v5, there's just so many bodies in front of him, he doesn't know where to look. VAMONOS will find a 4.
It's nice. It's nice to see such a quick, it was nice to see such a quick attacking, I suppose, attacking stance from the side of Le Petits Bouffons, but it was nice to see how VAMONOS actually dealt with that, right? And that swing onto default from KILLJOY, it was perfect. This is his half, right? I was mentioning how he wasn't really feeling himself in the first half, but this is where VAMONOS come back. They come back as a team. KILLJOY already on 6 kills. He's already doubled what he was on before we started this half. Now we're going to see a very aggressive push towards short. We have KILLJOY. Okay, no. They clearly didn't like me saying that out loud. They're gonna fall back. I think Zik is gonna try and get into a position where he can use his stun a lot more beneficial than potentially he has been doing, right? I think he's getting himself towards the center of the map. Being in the center of the map, therefore allowing him to stun where his teammates need. The only thing he has to be careful of is the angle it stuns at. Important to note here though, right? Look at KILLJOY's position. He has such a deep angle on A. He has so much information that he can give his team. So much.
Worthless.
Nice. Zeke, opening frag. Needs to find more than that, though, if he wants to keep the B sight. His and Cray walks through with a great flashbang from Russ. And that leaves him in isolation completely. And, well, the lockdown to come in from the attacking side, this is basically forcing them all away. They're going to wait a few seconds before they set the spike down because they know this has got so much control. And Lazar, well, his positioning, he was expecting someone to run in towards CT, but now that that hasn't happened, no one's in that defender side spawn, he can now focus his attention on setting up a flank. Nilla expecting something from Garage. They've got to get this retake going. You've got to win this round to stay in the game.
Look at this, though. The 3-man flank. Sunshine is actually going to try and clear out Garage, but does fail. And Cray takes out Sunshine and Vorwon as a response. Cray picks up 4. KILLJOY has fallen down. Just one person left, and Link, he finds the kill. Nila has fallen, and that's the 12th round on the board for Le Petits Bouffons.
Map point, series point here for the Clowns. They are one single step away from making this best of 3 stick and finding themselves a map and series win, which would be very, very nice, of course, going hand in hand with their previous play day, right, where they were able to win it out. And there we have it. I think it was expected, right, after what we saw in the showcase, the first 12 rounds of the half. Yeah. It's been brilliant. You can't argue that it has been an exceptional one from them. And, well, ultimately now, I think time is just the only thing that we're going to be waiting on until Le Petits Bouffons find 13.
Yeah, and it's not even that you've been seeing like incredible performances from the players that we expect. You know, you see Link playing around them smokes a lot of the time, like I mentioned, and how good he is to play around them smokes and how impactful it actually is. But we haven't really even been seeing him be the star player. It's coming down to the likes of Ross, Luzza, and Cray. I mean, as a team performance, this has been fantastic. But I want to highlight how Cray has been playing so far, right? He has been getting the frags. He's been getting the impact frags. He is he's been a key component of this puzzle. And it does look like the puzzle is going to be completed very soon. We see the drone come in, and look at that response. Vong instantly out of the way. Time is going down, 45 seconds left, and the bomb is going over towards A. And Vorman's going to be the first one to pick up on this information. He's going back. He knows they're coming. Oh, Vorman.
Oh my word, but Russ even misses his shot as well. Going to throw the stun down to just try and stop him in his tracks and stop them creating space. Klusha doing very well. Problem is, he expended one of those 5 knives and just trying to find the kill while blind. Shock dart as well, going to do even more damage. A smoke in front of them. Is this deployed by Link as well? It has been. Look, it's in red. And they're going to try and work their way around it, but VAMONOS have other plans. Link goes through, but only finds one. At least there's a 5th to write home about for VAMONOS.
Yeah, fantastic round for VAMONOS. You mentioned time is the only thing. They are going to prolong this. I've got a feeling this is the momentum they needed. Look at the ults going into this round. It's even forced out a timeout for Petits Bouffons. But we're going into this next round with the likes of Rolling Thunder, the likes of the Lockdown, right? So this round especially, we are probably hoping to see VAMONOS take a site without having to use too much. These ults are going to be so, like, look at the ults. Potentially some of the biggest ults that you can have in Valorant to take a site. You've got the Rolling Thunder, you've got the Lockdown, and you've got the Hunter's Fury. If they can keep these going into the next round, and when I say next round, this round right now is going to be looking like, well, I suppose it depends what goes through the minds of Petits Bouffons, but it's most likely going to be a throwaway round. One of them rounds where, you know, any damage is good damage, any ults forced is good. Let's just see exactly what happens, though. I think if you're a player from the Petits Bouffons right now, I think you're going to have quite a lot of confidence, don't you think? I mean, was you?
Of course. Of course. Thing is as well, right, for the Petits Bouffons is they don't care how many rounds this takes. They know that they've got so much to work with, right? They've got, what, 8 rounds still to go? Well, 7 now, right? They've got 7 rounds of straight dominance, right? They put one round in their name, that's it, the game's over, right? So there's going to be no denying that VAMONOS in this very position, well, winning the rest from 12-4 down originally is just going to be so hard to justify. Those knives brought back forward. I mean, he could have got off of his teammate's flash. He was blind himself, though. And a 5 versus 4. I'm wondering if that gun's in a retrievable position. I might just think it is.
Look,
and you can see already, Le Petits Bouffons indeed are arching up, ready to head towards A.
I like how they've slowed down the play, though. They've got a kill. They haven't invested much into the round. It's just a matter of mind games now. You can see VAMONOS have rotated towards A. You've got Sunshine sitting in A-Link, right? And you've also got Nile, who has left C and is now sitting outside a garage. And what Le Petits Bouffons are doing right now is they're reading this perfectly. They, like, look at this. The further Nile moves away from the C site, the better the read is from Le Petits Bouffons. And this looks like it's going to be an execute on to the C site. Get the turret contact, and that's it. Off they go in.
Well, Lockdown going to be deployed from the defending side. VAMONOS want to make sure that the C site is theirs for the taking. And Bongwell bringing out the Hunter's Fury. I'm wondering, is that going to deny it? No. The Lockdown's still in full force. And this is going to lock down a lot of these players. There's 2 players now that are basically handcuffed. They can't work back into things. Lazar watches Sunshine, swing. And that'll be into a certain death. And now really waiting, ideally, on someone to just hinder this defuse from happening. Cray behind, finding it with the classic. Nice from Sunshine, able to swing off his teammate's contact. Miller sticking the defuse. What a shot out of Link. Or excuse me, it might have been Cray. Either way, it's now down to 1. Sunshine against 2. And listen, it doesn't matter what happens. There's not enough time to get the defuse. It does not matter what happens. Sunshine down, and it's a thrifty round to end the series.
That movement around that smoke, I think, by Vong, it was just to perfection. And it was such a close defuse coming in from the likes of VAMONOS, but unfortunately, well, it was dominant. And coming into this, I did say that most likely we might see a third map, but that all depended on how well VAMONOS did perform. And unfortunately, there wasn't too much fire in the second half of Breeze, and there was hardly any fire on this map of Haven.
Yeah, difficult to wrap your head around for VAMONOS, right? Because we thought things were only just heating up in sort of the series conditioning. This was their selection of maps. And, well, you know, as much as there's 3 sites and you do start on the attacking side, we expected so much more out of them in this first half, right? Like, realistically, this is the only map that you can create the argument that starting on the attacking side is a benefit. Le Petits Bouffons put all of that questioning to rest, though, as it was a 9-3 at the turn of the half, and a 1-pistol round as well. Feel like that kind of ended the game before it even started, right, in that second half. Le Petits Bouffons, sure, did hit a bit of a blip, right, 11-3. It does go to, what, 12-5? But eventually the round is theirs, and they do it in a thrifty way as well. Of course, it was just those pistols brought out. I think it was what, the knives and the Hunter's Fury. That was the only things that were invested into this round, and ultimately resulted in a 13th and final round. And the fact that the lockdown from VAMONOS found 2 as well, very, very painful that they couldn't convert. And, well, there you have it, right? It is indeed a 2-0 Le Petits Bouffons. We look to maybe the scoreboard, and for an agent that you shouldn't see at the top of the game, Cray had an unreal performance.
Thoroughly deserved. I mean, like I touched on during that game, the way he worked around Garage, and obviously that highlight round when he got the 4K, but also the 2 kills that lined up from C-Long and from Garage, he played it so well. He made it so difficult for VAMONOS to actually read what was going on. Even in that final round, he had a classic to work with. And what did he do? He picked up Vorwen. It was unfortunate. Vorwen, he was ready for it. He was holding B, but, well, Cray just put the classic to the test and absolutely annihilated it. And honestly, if I didn't see Cray at the top just then, I would have been surprised. Yes, we had some highlights from all the other players. They were playing absolutely great. Cray took the MVP at the end of the day.
Yeah, and obviously for Le Petits Bouffons in a situation, in a climate where every win counts, a second one under their belts now, keeps their lead at the top, right? There's only one other team that are currently there.
Yep.
So ultimately this is just going to be something that keeps happening, right? They join the likes of Apex at the top of the sheets, which kind of already creating storylines, right? They're matching, they're doing very, very well. It's been one, okay, you know what, questionable game, quite close. The next one, an absolute dominant performance, right? For Apex, it was a different breed. It was against Focus, a team that we expected so much of. But for Le Petits Bouffons, obviously a second win for them today over VAMONOS as well. It's nice to get revenge, especially in the way they did it. I do believe we have an interview on the line as well with the winning side, Le Petits Bouffons. We're bringing out the big guns. Welcome first and foremost. Congratulations on the win. Talk us through it, right? 2-0, pretty decent considering what happened out in Beacon.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Just went really comfortable in this game, and
yeah, I mean, sorry, Vong. Sorry, no, carry on.
I was just gonna say, like, last time we played them, it didn't mean much, you know, and they were being very comfortable with their peaks, and yeah, this time.
I mean, you guys showed so much passion in that game, though, Vong. You guys showed us the reason that you qualified for Polaris.
Yeah, it's because we have been practicing a lot after last time. Qualifying for Polaris, we didn't have any team practice at all. So, and we managed to qualify. We almost beat them with no practice. This time we practiced a lot, more comfortable, confident, and we smashed them.
Yeah, I want to ask one question, Vong, and it's throughout this series, your name has always been popping up, right? Throughout the whole series, you had some great utility usage, okay, from Sova, and I mentioned that before this game even started, you were someone that people seriously need to watch out for, and I mean, you really showed it today. Is there anything like you thought that potentially you could have worked on even more? Because I mean, there was some things in that I don't even think you needed to work on.
Yeah, of course, there's always something to work on. There is a lot of times I forget to like shock dart before we go into site for Killjoy mollies or Cypher trips. And last round, somehow I missed my ult. I didn't break the Killjoy ult. Yeah, that was bit of panic, but we managed to win the round anyway.
Listen, Vong, I won't keep you much longer. Congratulations on the win, and good luck in the rest of this in the rest of the event.
Thank you.
There you go. Really nice guy. You can see. I don't know if it's humbleness exactly, but they seem a lot more confident here, Marcus. They seem a lot more comfy playing now when they have the practice, when they have the experience, when they have better opposition. Right, they have a reason to keep putting out big numbers. And today, I think not just from Vong, but from everyone individually, we just saw it click. Right, there was cohesion, and it just looked amazing to watch them play today.
Yeah, and it's like we mentioned on Breeze, right? It was the timings that they had down to the T, which made them look and it made them feel like an absolutely impressive team. And I mean, after we saw the performance yesterday from Human Tripwires, from the addition of Eccles and Polvi, I think even going into this tournament now, Les Petits Bouffons are showing that they are contenders for at least top 4. I really want to see Les Petits Bouffons versus Apex. I really, really do, because I think that game, we actually may have a closer game than Apex versus Focus.
I mean, we should, right? After what they showed today, it looked really, really promising. For VAMONOS, back to the drawing board, obviously. They're 0-1 heading into this one now, joining the likes of Cars in the 0-2 stage. It's going to be a difficult one for them, right? To recover the rest of this season, you know, for the rest of this split as well, they've got a lot of work to do ahead of them. I think this one, they kind of drew the short straw a little bit, right? Map 1 definitely could have been closer if they'd have just put together a little bit more in defense. And it felt like in the second map, rather, the first half, that time that we talked about on their attacking side, it was like, there was round 11 that they called it, or the start of round 12 that they called, like, you know, just things like that. I feel like if we start to keep some cool heads on this VAMONOS side, we certainly can look to improve. Ladies and gents, the action does not stop here. We still have a whole nother best of 3 afterwards, of course. It's HS Deer. Up next, right, it's going to be a bounce back for them. Will they join the likes of this VAMONOS side in the O2? We'll find out after this.
The Beacon circuit was, I don't want to say relatively easy, but it was something that we felt like we kind of cruised through, going to Epic LAN and then winning the online tournaments afterwards. I wouldn't say it was much of a struggle.
We went into the qualifier with 0 days of practice, so when we were going into the qualifier, a lot of it was on the fly.
The E-Masters game that we ended up losing was definitely down to the fact that everyone just came back from breaks, but as we could see later on in the tournament, the tide swayed and obviously managed to win later on in the tournament.
Link's still alive on the Frenzy, and Cat, what can he do on the Reyna? It's got to be the Link show right now, and he's got 4.
E-Masters didn't have a chance against us in the second time round. After the experience that we'd gained together throughout the officials and the little amount of practice that we had, I just knew we were going to qualify in the end.
We also saw some cheeky tweets that they put out before, and that, you know, thickens the skin, that makes you want to win some more. And we had to come back and just show everyone that we may have lost the first game, but we're not going out like that.
Limpet sticking the whole way through. The shots are connecting. And E-Masters! Vaughn, you can find 4.
Qualifying to Polaris was always the goal. Ever since that first event we played, that's been the goal in everyone's head in this team.
It helps us reach a broader audience, and people finally see that we're a team that needs to be taken seriously, and hopefully organizations are more interested in us now that we have something to play for.
I believe that VCL Polaris is, if not the strongest, one of the strongest VCL regions that there is. We have a bit of time to practice now, which we didn't have for the qualifier, so with the practice that we're going to have behind us, I believe that we'll match up really well against a lot of these teams, and all our our aim is going to be to get into playoffs.
How quick is the retake from Petits Bouffons? Big recon there, big kills being found. It looks like we might be going towards a map 3.
We learned through the qualifiers that no one deserves respect. No one we should play against deserves the respect. So we're going to go in with severe lack of respect. We're going to face, we're going to get aggressive. We're going to show everyone that, you know, we're not a team that to be messed around with. We're going to come in here and we're going to take the spot.
If we can do what we think we can do, then we're going to be a top contender for this league.
Hey guys, my name is Sig. I'm the IGL of VAMONOS.
I'm VALORANT, guys, and I play for VAMONOS.
I came into the team rather late. I came as a stand-in for another player.
We started the Beacon circuit a long time ago. It was Krigon, KPZ, myself. We got Zig at the end. I was IGLing, I switched off, and then he took the IGL role. I couldn't perform at my best when I was IGLing, so now I can carry some games, you know.
Out of this world! Only 2 players getting taken out with him, but he might as well have a few more. Every single time you come towards B, the beast is lurking, and it is Vor.
Since I had to do the IGL role, I had to make some adjustments for the team. We had to get rid of the old custom from the other IGL.
Another game that we qualified against EMEA. We did not expect EMEA to be in the upper final. We expected to meet like the Barbers or the Petits Bouffons on the key game. The confidence we had in that game was better than we expected, and it helped us do the comeback that we did in the second game.
You do not have time, E-Masters! It's Nille who finds it!
Qualifying for Polaris means a lot, honestly, and the goal for us was not to get any money, not to get any work. Our goal was to not be left out, you know. We just wanted to keep competing, be on the international level and compete every day. And that's what we made.
It's just so surreal to just come into a team and beat all the teams in a straight row and then just qualify.
And Zik is taking names, lives and numbers flawless from VAMONOS.
There's some really good teams in Polaris. I think it's one of the most stacked regional leagues in Europe right now, if not the most.
I believe that the other teams are gonna give us a hard time in the beginning for sure.
I expect us to be like top 5, 6 at the beginning, and then I hope we can be on the top at the end.